Welcome back to Pod and Deliver. This week we have an article titled New York City Charter School to Pay Teachers $140K to Promote Student Achievement. This article comes to us through Fox News. Ruben, $140,000. This charter is called the Equity Project Charter School. It's also known as TEP. And they had basically announced this is their salaries for next year. And I think they have a scale like most districts do. And so that's probably only going to go, I would assume, to the higher end teachers. That's what I led to believe when I read it. Now they do have these things like these incentives. You get up to $35,000 for things like getting test scores up, right? And the students that this school is servicing are not well-to-do kids or from families from well-to-do. These are 90% Latino, and I think like 7 or 8% African American, and these are students who are have free or reduced lunch. I think 9% of them, it said in the article. And so, Ruben, these when I read that, I go, man, the national average I think is $70,000, and they're doubling it up. And I don't know, I'm not gonna lie to you, I had a little thought of maybe checking this out. I'm just like, I don't get it. I mean, why not go for it? Why not other districts do it? I believe you know a little bit more about charters than I do regarding salary. And how are they able to do that, Ruben? How are they able to pay more than like other districts? I don't get it.
Oh, wait, did you say you're thinking about doing that?
Well, I had a little thought, Ruben. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, man, how can what am I doing wrong here? I've been teaching for 30 years and
Moving to
I'm
New
not even
York? close.
Maybe not. I just had that little
You're just
fleeting. I was
yeah.
just talking through my, what.
You're just talking.
But yeah, I was
Um, you asked how do charter schools do
yeah. How can I do that? Pay that much
so
money.
the way it's done is through fundraising and through the ability to create their own set of rules. Because if you think about it, they're independent charters. So that means they don't have to follow every thing that the district that they're in follows. So, for example, at my school, we're under LAUSD, but we don't have to follow what they do. As a result, we have a different contract. My school has a different contract than LAUSD. We get paid a lot more. So with the difference though with this school that you're mentioning in New York is that they can get you, like, we have a starting,
Right.
and we build our salary through tenure, through years, just like LAUSD, but we max out at a different rate. I think you got LAUSD, what's the highest? 95?
I think it was 92 before we got this little raise we got. I think it was like 92.
Our highest, from my understanding, is probably around 150.
Oh, geez. That's
probably around there. It's so hard because yeah. So
no wonder why people are going to charters. Wanting to teach there. It didn't really hit me till I was reading this article. I go, oh, that's a big reason why people want to go there. And then the incentives make sense though. Like, hey, if your scores go well, why not reward you? I'm not sure if where I work at people will be too excited about that maybe, but I could see how that could be enticing for a young teacher starting out his career or her career, right? It just doesn't. It just makes sense.
I like the idea, though. I'm intrigued by the idea of this school in New York that, by the way, they emphasize diversity, DEI. We've talked about it, diversity, equity, and inclusion, but they talk about raising test scores, and there will be incentives, the salary incentives. What's wrong with that?
I don't know what the argument is against it. I don't get it. Maybe because in some areas it's difficult to raise those test scores. Maybe that's the reason. But
in fact, they sound like geniuses, because if you think about it, we had just done this video about red states versus blue states, and how in the red states they're still looking at SAT scores. They're still looking at scores from the high schools going into college. In the blue states, they're not looking at that as much as they're looking at building culture in classrooms around diversity, equity, and inclusion. But this school is emphasizing both. That sounds like genius material to me.
Yeah, I like to see this school in about 4 or 5 years. I like to see what happened in that span to see if they did well in the test scores, if they retained the teachers. Because one of the issues they brought up, of course, like a lot of things we've been talking about, they're trying to retain teachers in New York, right? I mean, even here in California, we're trying to hold on to teachers. And I think that's one reason why LAUSD just even agreed with the UTLA with this 21% raise for the next 2 3 years. Is because they're trying to retain teachers, and this is a smart move by this charter. And I think, like I said, 5 years from now, I'd like to see the results. I have a feeling, Ruben, I think there'll be some positive results. I mean, I can't see why not, but we'll see.
Let's see
And,
what happens. It's going to be
and
interesting.
yeah, any last thoughts?
No, I just think that we had discussions on charter schools and in the past,
Right.
in a video not long ago, but it's one of many reasons I believe that it's often a good thing to look at for teachers. And I was talking to a friend of mine who is my para professional in my class. We used to call them TAs,
Yeah.
but she's trying to become the teacher with me, teach as well. And one of the things I said to her is that you are a hot commodity if you have a SPED credential, because that's what she.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's a good idea to interview the school. You got to look at it like that, because you're bringing value to this culture, and so you got to be careful what situation you're walking into. So
For sure. Wow, thanks, Ruben. And you know what? Thank you for being on Pod and Deliver and watching us. And you know what? Don't forget to subscribe. We've been uh throwing out these videos every 2 3 a week, and we enjoy doing it. And we want to hear from you. If you have any comments, go ahead and leave a comment. And we will see you next time on Pod and Deliver. Bye bye.